Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're taking you to the animal kingdom. We're going to ride through the Killimanjaro Safari. This is actually a really cool ride. Every ride is very different because of the animals. They go wherever they want to. And this trip was just like that as well. So sit back, relax. Let's have some fun. Now, let's go.
Harambe is Tunde, which means let's go. Hello everyone, my name is Monique and I'm going to be your safari guide headed into the Harambe Wildlife Reserve today. Now a couple of safety reminders before we do head into the reserve. Everyone must remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Children can line sit or sit beside you, but wherever they are now is where they must stay. We begin our journey in the Little Aturi Forest. Now, a lot of the animals in the forest like to use their camouflaging abilities to evade predator detection, so we're going to have to keep an extra sharp eye out. Let's see what we can find out here. Already I'm spotting an okapi to the right and a bongo to the left here. Both of these animals get the nicknames the ghost of the forest. The bongo has about 6 to 10 stripes on their back that mimic sunlight that's going to help them blend into the brush. Also spotting a saddle-billed stork to the left and the right here. They have yellow saddle shapes on their bills, that's where they get their name, and a wingspan of about 9 feet wide. Now that okapi that we're seeing to the right, although they have those stripes, they are not related to the zebra. They're most closely related to the giraffe, and we know this because of their bone structure. They also have prehensile tongues, which is just a fancy word for saying finger-like. Just like a giraffe has, they're really long and sticky. It's going to help them grab onto food pretty good. Right, notice they weren't really hanging out near the saddle-billed stork or the bongos back there, and this is because the okapi is a very shy and reclusive animal. So shy that they weren't even discovered until 1901. Westerners just believed that they were a folktale. As you can see, they were very much real, very much cute. And similarly to the bongo, the greater kudu coming up to the right is also going to have those stripes that mimic sunlight to help them camouflage. For the greater kudu, only males are going to have horns, so it does look like all of these ones here are females. For the bongos, both male and females are going to have spiraled horns that jut backwards. Helps them run through the forest quickly. We are about to be heading out of the Little Aturi Forest and heading into the Safi River, home to semi-aquatic animals, which means they like to spend the majority of their time in and around the waters. So let's keep our eyes out on those waters, see if we can spot anyone. Maybe some bubbles or ripples or shadows underneath. It does look like we might be holding for some animal activity up ahead. This is their home, so they do get the right of way. Let's go. So as a reminder, we are heading into Safi, so those semi-aquatic animals, so we'll keep our eyes on those waters, okay? I am spotting some pink-backed pelicans to the right here. Although they look great right now, they do get a blushing pink color on their backs. That's where they get their name, pink-backed pelican. It does look like there's a Nile hippopotamus to the right as well. They look fully grown, so they're going to weigh about 5,500 pounds. We do just have to remain all the way seated, my friends. Even our little ones, for your safety, my friends, please stay all the way seated. We cannot seat swap. Make sure we're staying seated, little ones. If your friends are standing up, make sure we're having them sit down. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I smell that, huh?
So I mentioned that hippo weighing about 5,500 pounds. That is roughly the weight of your car. So as you can imagine, they don't really swim. What they're actually going to do is sink to the bottom of these riverbeds, and then they can run, walk, or gallop along the bottoms. At least pink-backed pelicans to the right are the largest of the pelican species, but unfortunately they can get caught up in fishing net and garbage that washes up on beaches. So that's why it's really important that when we do have those fun beach days, that we're also doing our part in making sure that we are cleaning up after ourselves and others if we do see garbage there. So we can hopefully save the lives of our semi-aquatic friends like the pink-backed pelican.
Bye, Sam's family.
Now we as humans communicate by laughing with each other and chatting with each other, but that hippo back there is going to communicate in a much different vocalization called wheeze honks. I do think I spotted a head popping up to the left here. We'll see if they put their head back up. It does look like there's another hippo right as we make this bend. Hippos spend the majority of their time underwater. They can hold their breaths up for a few minutes at a time, sometimes even napping underwater, and then just coming up for air naturally as needed. Their bodies will do it for them. Looked at their head popped up, but they're back underneath there, so we'll see if they do it again. Gotta look for those shadows, as I mentioned. Oh, there they are right there next to the island. They're going the same direction as us. Looks like it's a baby. They're a little bit smaller. Oh, and another one splashing around over here to the left. Looks like they're walking around.
You good, Jeff?
When you see a group of hippos all together like this, it's called a bloat. But we are going to be heading across Croc Bridge, home of the Nile crocodile, so we'll keep our eyes peeled to the left and right. Sometimes I bump into the environment's pretty good, or hide out under the bridge, so let me know if you spot anyone. The Nile crocodile is the largest reptile in all of Africa. It can reach lengths of 16 feet long, which is just as long as a giraffe is tall. Nile crocodiles are only going to eat about once a week, and in that one feeding, they can eat up to half their body weight. The savannah. The savannah is home to a lot of different animals, plants, and trees. And speaking of different, it does look like there's a baobab tree coming up to the right up here. Now these trees go leafless about 9 months out of the year, so that's where it gets its nickname, the upside down tree, because it kind of looks like the roots are growing out the top, but it's actually just an optical illusion. The roots are actually in the ground. These trees can store thousands of gallons of water in their trunks at a time. So animals like the African elephant will stick their tusks into those trunks, kind of like this one. You might spot there's some holes on there. Get that water to come pouring out, and that gives water to all the animals on the savannah, hence giving life to the animals. So that's where this tree gets a name you might be a little bit more familiar with. This is the tree of life. The savannah is home to a lot of infamous animals you may already know and love, such as the Maasai giraffe, the Hartman Mountain zebra, and the African elephant. So I recommend getting those cameras out and ready. Maybe throw them on a sport or an action mode, because you never know who you're going to see or what they're going to be doing. Oh, a few of you mentioned the zebras earlier, so we'll keep our eyes out, see if we can spot any.
They're invisible.
Now, every animal on the savannah has their very own at-home jobs, we like to say. Animals like the Maasai giraffe are going to be the tree trimmers of the savannah. They're going to eat the leaves off of those lower hanging branches, so on it will provide a good canopy. so that everyone gets good shade on the savannah. And animals like the Ankole cattle, springbok, and wildebeest will be the lawn mowers of the savannah. They're going to eat the grass, graze it nice and low so everyone can walk. Now if you look to the left, right past those rocks, underneath the tree, it does look like there's some African painted dogs. They're the most successful predator in all of Africa. This is due to their endurance and use of teamwork. They're going to be doing their hunting in packs. They get their name because their coats look like they have paint swatches on them. Also to the left is a sable antelope. Very brave and territorial animals. They have horns that jump backwards. It's going to help protect them from any predators. Known for their sable brown color, the males are going to be just a little bit darker than the females. They might look a little familiar to you because the sable antelope is the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. What we're seeing to the left here are termite mounds made of termite saliva, dung, and dirt. A lot of animals in the savannah will use these termite mounds as a natural scratching post for themselves.
We are the last ride. Look, there's no, the buses were turned around behind us. Oh wait. Oh, okay. There's one that's coming through. You see it?
I am spotting some wildebeest in the distance. If you look where the baobab tree is up there on the hill, right below there's a couple of wildebeest. They're the second most densely populated mammal on Earth. Does anyone have any guesses on who number one is?
Humans.
Yes, we are. But these wildebeest are pretty impressive. Not that we are in our own rights, but about 1.5 million wildebeest will migrate about 500 to 1,000 miles per year in search of fresh water. And when they do this, it's called the Great Migration. These wildebeest also get the nickname the Neo, that's GNU, after the noise they make when they communicate. When they chat, it kind of sounds like they're saying you and you, so that's the Neo. You learn something new every day. Hanging out with them is also the Ankole cattle, also known as the Watusi cattle, nicknamed after the tribe that first domesticated them. They're one of two domesticated animals here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. It's going to be that animal with the very large horns up there. When they're fully grown from tip to tip, those horns are going to reach about 6 to 8 feet wide. And we're seeing a giraffe, a couple giraffes to the right here. These are Maasai giraffes. You might notice that their spots have jagged edges to them. This is specific to the Maasai. Any other type of giraffe species is going to have more of a rectangular shape to their spots. These giraffes are going to eat for about 20 hours per day, and they only sleep for about 30 minutes, but that's only going to be in a few minute increments here and there. Now what we're seeing to the left up here is a group of giraffes, also known as a tower. It's pretty easy to remember if you think about it. They tower over us humans. They're a lot taller than we are. When they're fully grown, they're going to reach about 16 to 20 feet tall. Sometimes they'll give birth standing up, and their babies are already going to be about 6 feet tall when born. Those two horn-like structures on top of their heads are called ossicones. And a great view of those wildebeest to the right, as well as the Ankole cattle. But it does look like this tree up ahead has been knocked down, and I can only think of one animal that's large enough and strong enough to do that. So we'll keep our eyes peeled, see if we can spot that animal together. They are always on the move.
The elephant?
Well, it does look like there's some mandrills to the right there, walking out by the rock wall.
Look right there.
It does look like there was a male, the bigger one. You can tell the difference between male and female mandrills because the males are going to have much brighter faces and bottoms to them. We know that mandrills are monkeys and not apes because they have tails. I'd love to see if we get a better view of this African elephant to the right, and there they are. might notice that they have dirt on their backs. This is an intentional action they do to cool their bodies off. They'll grab onto that dirt or mud, throw it on top of their backs, and not only will it cool them off, it'll also act as a natural sunscreen for them. They also have very large ears, shaped like the continent of Africa. And they have lots of blood vessels in those ears, and you can see that one flapping their ears back there. That's another way to regulate their body temperature.
Woo! Whoa!
And we might be able to get another view of that African elephant to the right as we cross
I thought
this
she was gonna
bridge.
get another whiff of it. I'll be like, yo, that was not funny, bro.
There they are. I'd love to see if we can find some more African elephants together. Ooh, it does look like we're heading through some red clay pits, which is a really great sign. These elephants love to eat red clay because it has lots of minerals that are great for their bodies. Think of it like us taking our daily vitamins. Oh, and some tusk marks to the right too, so that's recent activity. We'll keep our eyes peeled. It does look like there's a few in the distance up there, but I'd love to see if we can get a closer view. Unfortunately, these African elephants, their environments are being currently impacted by coltan mining, which is a material used in our electronic devices. So one easy way that we can help protect them and their environments is making sure that once we're done with our electronics, we can return them back to the store so they can be recycled for future products rather than just throwing them away in the trash. If we all do this, we can make a positive impact on their habitats. Oh my goodness, and it does look like there's a baby over there. So cute. Fully grown male African elephants are going to weigh about 13,000 pounds, whereas the females are only going to be about 8,000. So it does look like these ones are females hanging out with a baby over there. You can kind of see them through the trees there. I mentioned them using mud to cool their bodies off, and an African elephant's trunk alone, they have more muscles than we do in our entire bodies as humans. As you go through this water, you might get a good view if you look to the left there. Oh my goodness, the baby. Make sure we're staying all the way seated, my friends, even our little ones.
It's like Mimi.
If you see your neighbors standing up, please make sure we're telling them to sit down, please. A lot of people think that elephants drink water through their trunks, but what they'll actually do is sip on it. They'll grab it through the trunks, and then they put it in their mouths like the baby elephant is doing back there. Also to the left here is the greater flamingo. Now the greater flamingo doesn't get their name greater because they're fatter than any of the other flamingos. It actually just means that they're the largest of the flamingo species. They're also the palest too. If you notice, they have a palish pink color to them. But they weren't always this color.
Hey guys, notice
when they
that?
actually look like
That's for people who pay special money
they'll eat lots and lots of brown shrimp,
for
which contains
a
beta
safari,
carotene in
guys.
it, and that's going to help them get that shrimp, that color from the shrimp that they ingest. We see a group of flamingos like this all together. It's called a flamboyance. Now, the African elephant isn't the only animal in the savannah that uses mud to cool their bodies off. The rhinoceros will do something similar, but because they don't have trunks to grab onto that mud, they're going to roll around in these mud wallows that we're seeing to the left here to get that similar cooling and sunscreen effect, and also keep those bugs off their bodies too. Seeing that mud wallow does tell me that there's been recent activity, so we'll keep our eyes peeled in the bushes, see if anyone's hiding out over there. But in the meantime, it does seem like we're going to be heading into predator territory, so like I mentioned before, we got to keep our eyes on those high points. And it does look like there is one white rhino in the bushes here to the right. They're very social animals, so they usually hang out in small family herds. And as we get closer, you'll notice they have a wide upper lip. That's actually where they get their name, from the Afrikaans word "vite," which translates to wide. So, white rhino. Right here to the right in the bushes. pretty close to them. Wow. They did look like they were fully grown, so they're going to weigh about 5,000 to 6,000 pounds. And also to the left, looks like there's a group of cheetahs here walking around. There's one walking and a few laying down there. Cheetahs are the fastest land animal on 4 legs. They can reach speeds of 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. And they can do this because they have 7 retractable claws. Oh, and another white rhino in the bushes there. When those white rhinos hang out together like that, it's called a crash. And another cheetah to the left on the hill here. Now, if you have a great zoom on your phone, you'll be able to see that they have black lines underneath their eyes. This is going to act as natural sunglasses for them. So they're able to do their hunting during the day, whereas other large cats that you may know of are going to be nocturnal, which means they're going to be doing their hunting at night. Cheetahs also don't communicate in any roaring noises. They're going to be communicating in more chirping, purring, hissing, and growling vocalizations. It does look like there's another group of rhinos, a crash, to the right here. It does look like they've better utilized those mud walls before. Now, unfortunately, these rhinos are only one of 5 rhino species left in the wild, and this is due to poaching practices. People often poach them for their horns because they believe that they have medicinal properties, but that's simply not true. Their horns are actually just made out of the same material as our hair and fingernails, which is keratin.
I'm hungry, Auntie.
These rhinos can run up to speeds of 35 miles per hour, and when they run, it's going to be kind of like galloping like a horse. Now, these copy rock formations that we're seeing to the left here are used by predators and prey alike. Typically, predators will be up there for hunting purposes, gets them a good stance on the savanna. But when they're off hunting, sometimes we'll find prey up there, just getting a good look at where everyone's coming from. It's a good vantage point. Oh, we're gonna get a great view of these white rhinos, those wide upper lips I was talking about earlier. To the right. Looks like they're grazing on some grass right now.
Look at the canning.
They're really big once you get closer to them. I'm also spotting 2 female ostriches coming up to the right here in the distance. Female ostriches are going to have much lighter feathers than a male. And although they have very large wings, they are a flightless bird. However, they are the fastest land animal on 2 legs, reaching speeds of 40 miles per hour. And it does look like there's a few of their eggs here to the right. And you're going to notice that they're a lot larger than chicken eggs, and you are correct. One ostrich egg is going to weigh about 3 pounds, which may not sound like a lot, but if you really put that in perspective, that's roughly the weight of 24 chicken eggs just in one ostrich egg. They're very strong and durable too. If any one of us took a step on those eggs, they still would not break. Typically, the dominant female ostrich will lay her eggs in the middle while everyone else lays theirs around hers. But we are exiting the savannah and heading into the Magadi Glen. This is at the edge of the reserve where our warden resides. They've recently taken in some Nigerian dwarf goats who have excellent balance, if you couldn't tell on top of the warden's post over there. Oh, there's a few in the warden's car as well. Although they are pretty small, this is them fully grown. They're gonna weigh about 75 pounds when fully mature. Oh, look at them jumping around. Nigerian dwarf goats are very playful animals too. Sometimes we'll see them butting heads, so people think that this is an aggressive behavior. But on the contrary, this is actually just their way of playing around and having fun. But seeing those Nigerian dwarf goats does remind me that our journey is unfortunately coming to an end soon. So I want to say asante sana. Asante so much for joining me here today on the Harambe Wildlife Preserve. That means thank you. And thank you all so much for your patience during that giraffic jam earlier. I do appreciate it. It truly has been an honor being your safari guide today. My name is Monique, and I came all the way from Massachusetts just to hang out with you guys today. And I gotta say, I had a lot of fun. We got to see so many cool animals. It was really amazing. We got to see those white rhinos that up close and personal.
Welcome back, my friends, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Please make sure you are subscribed to our channel so you will not miss another fantastic video from our channel. Please also leave a comment or share this video with your social media friends, as it will help our channel. With that said, we would like to thank you, and we hope that you will have a fantastic and a magical